Hello everyone, my name is Josh Leclair. I'm a fitness and sport instructor with CFSU Ottawa-Gatineau. Today I'm just going to take some time and go through the close protection physical fitness screening evaluation with you. And I'm just going to go through each component and give you some tips and tricks that will help you improve your overall fitness and get better at each component of the evaluation, so that hopefully next time you run yourself through it, you'll be successful and you'll be able to move on to the next stages. So the close protection fitness evaluation is fairly short in nature. It is devised of the components of the force test, just done in a certain fashion. So the order that we see the components in, you begin with the sandbag lift, you move on to the intermittent loaded shuttle, followed by the 20-meter rushes, and then you finish it off with a sandbag drag, after which you get a 5-minute break, and then you move on to the Firemans Carry with 86 kilograms for a 100-meter distance, and that needs to be done in 60 seconds or less. When it comes to the close protection evaluation, it goes without saying that you need to be comfortable with all the components of the force evaluation. So you definitely need to practice at becoming very efficient in all 4 aspects. A good way to train for the close protection test is begin by performing the force components in the order of the close protection test. And you want to start with decreased rest intervals. So your intervals need to be less than the standard 5 minutes during the force evaluation. And then you want to work towards decreasing those rest periods until you get to the mandatory 10-second rest period that you will see on the actual evaluation. So the entire test needs to be completed in 6 minutes and 6 seconds or less. And that includes 3 10-second rest periods done in between the sandbag lift to intermittent loaded shuttle, between the intermittent loaded shuttle and the 20-meter rushes, and then between the 20-meter rushes and the sandbag drag. If you train with 10-second breaks in between each component, that'll be a good starting point for you in preparing for what you will actually see on the close protection test. As well, get comfortable performing a fireman's carry with the prescribed weight for that 100-meter distance, and obviously because the test needs to be done in 60 seconds or less, you want to be able to train to be able to do that as well. So that can be done using body sandbags, or even just a training partner that weighs that 86 kilograms, and just get comfortable with that weight on your shoulders. Because the test is done in roughly around that 5-minute mark, it is an aerobic test in nature. You want to have a good aerobic base. So you want to have a solid cardiorespiratory system so that you can actually maintain a higher intensity level of exercise for the duration of the overall test. So I'll just explain a little bit here what I mean by improving your base and pushing your threshold a little bit further. So whenever we exercise, our body produces a byproduct called lactic acid. Under a certain threshold, our body is able to process this lactic acid without any issue. When we hit a certain intensity, and as we can see here, that red dot labeled LT is our lactate threshold. So up until that point, our body has no issue processing that lactic acid. Once we get past that threshold, our body then can no longer process it fast enough compared to how much our body is producing. So the goal in training is to take that lactate threshold and push it further. So as we can see in our second graph, we want to take that blue dot, which was before training, and push it further to the right to the red dot, which is after training, so that as we're exercising, we can maintain a higher intensity because we've now pushed that lactate threshold limit further, and our intensity can be higher for a longer duration. Once that's done, you want to also incorporate some anaerobic system training afterwards. So that's when you get onto the other side of that threshold, and then the intensity of that exercise is correlated to how long you're able to do it for. So the closer you are to 100% max effort, the less time you are going to be able to do whatever given task you are doing. So when you're training for the close protection test, the stronger you are overall, the easier this test is going to be, because the weights or the intensity that you need to work at will seem less if you're stronger. So overall, lift and the sandbag drag aren't going to feel necessarily as heavy to you if you're a stronger individual. When you're training for the close protection test, a good tip is to find a comfortable intensity level that you can stay in your aerobic system, but you're as close to that threshold as possible before you move into that anaerobic system. So when you're doing this test, the goal isn't to try to achieve platinum on all the individual components. The idea is to get through all 4 components in the least amount of time. If you go into this test trying to achieve a platinum time in each component, you will not last the entire duration of the test. If you go into the test trying to establish a nice rhythm, for lack of a better word, and staying just below that threshold, you will be able to do this test in the shortest amount of time and hopefully get it done in around that 5-minute mark. So I can't stress enough that it's not about being the quickest on each component. You still have to factor in those 10-second rest periods that you will have in between each component. But establish that base, develop that aerobic power, and get through the test in a nice rhythm. That's going to be the best way for you to complete the close protection fitness evaluation. So thank you for taking the time with me today. I hope that was very helpful for you. I know it might seem like a lot right off the bat, but trust me, all of those tips and tricks will help you in improving your overall fitness and getting you prepared for the test. If you ever need to, reach out to your PSP staff at your respective locations, and they'll be more than happy to help you out with a personalized program to help you attain your goals. If you have any questions today, don't hesitate to reach out. Hopefully everything we went over today will help you with your journey when it comes to being successful on your test. And I wish you all good luck.